Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the garage. Well, today is the day. Today we are going to figure out if our front clip kind of mounting solution worked. We're going to reinstall this thing, put it back up there, and just kind of see what else we can get done. So yesterday I completed our fiberglassing. Our little Bondo fiberglass kit gave us just enough matting to finish this whole project up. So we did the hood supports there and the supports on the top of the bumper here the other day, and I got all the ones on the bumper itself fiberglassed in. Everything's looking good. I'm very happy with the results. Fiberglassing is definitely something that really is not that hard. So if you look at the kit, look at a couple videos online, you're more than capable of doing a fiberglass repair. Now, when this thing had fallen off previously, as you guys can see here, we got a little crack where our fiberglass was coming apart, but we were able to repair that with our fiberglass from that kit. So we're looking good there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the front clip, we'll put it on the truck, get our pins installed on our hinges. That way we can see if this thing works and kind of, try and wrap this project up. We will more than likely have to cut some metal. One big thing with going to the front clip, we should be able to get rid of this stuff right here, which gives us a little issue with having a core support and all that. But we have a solution for that, something else that we're going to have to do to the truck. I believe these areas are going to have to come out in order to get this on there, but I don't know 100% yet. We will see. So that's the game plan. We're going to slide this thing over, get it on, and see what else we have to do in order to get this Brothers Racing Bodies front clip to work and to hinge on the front of our truck. That's kind of the goal. If this setup doesn't work, or we have the same issue we did before, we're probably just going to go and make the front clip, so you got to remove it with two people, kind of get rid of the whole hinge idea, just because that's something that will be holding us up for progress, and maybe next winter we can figure out a way to really support this thing. But I'm confident. I think we did a good job with our fiberglass and our epoxy, and I think it's going to work. So let's get this thing on there. All right. Well, mission success. Our front end tilts. We still have some stuff to do to refine it and get it to work perfectly, a little smoother. But it's great. We can pull it forward. It doesn't want to automatically go over until I, actually pick it up, which is good. Like I said, we got some refinement to do up here. Our two bars here, we're hitting our former I don't know what you call it, core support, bars coming off the cab here. So I just whacked them with the Sawzall real quick. I just whacked them at the end of this plate. Eventually I might take this and kind of move it back to being even with the cow, but that's not really a big deal right now. But our front end works. And then like my pins, I got to you got to cut them down, put a new hole in it. We'll put a cotter pin on there. We may refine that a little bit more in the future, just to make it so to take the thing off, I don't have to crawl under the truck and get the pins out. Not that it's that big a deal. We're going to be drag racing the truck, so it's not like we're going to be, somewhere where it's soaking wet, and we'll have to do that. But we are definitely going to need to add a support in the center here. If you guys can see, there's a whole lot of weight just kind of flopping around up there. So I want to put a cable, tie a cable in here somewhere in the center, and then have a hole or something in here so we can kind of pull this up and not have all the weight being down here. Plus it's like a giant kite like this. So very happy with the fact that it works. As you guys can see, we have some mounting issues now for like our intercooler, and I am going to get, I have to get it a remote mount radiator for this thing, a radiator that we can mount somewhere back here, probably over there on the passenger side or something like that. But for now, we need to figure out a solution for our intercooler, which we'll have to make some new mounts and all that, because I have this On3 Performance intercooler. So this is going to be our new intercooler setup. This is a 6-inch wide core by like 2 foot by a foot. That will be replacing our Mishimoto intercooler. The reason that we are getting rid of the Mishimoto is like a 3-inch core. It is a little bigger, but with the thickness of the core and all on this On3 one, we pretty much have the same amount of surface area, maybe a little more on the Mishimoto. But this On3 Performance one is significantly lighter. Also, as you guys can see here, it has the little grooves so you can have a hose coupling. We will actually in the future be cutting those off and getting some V-bands for it. So I wanted to V-band our intercooler, get rid of any boots that we might have like this. And in order to do that, we'd have to cut our Mishimoto one up, kind of making it so nobody who has a stock replacement would want it, because they probably want to use boots and all that. So we will be getting rid of our stock replacement Mishimoto intercooler. That's the whole reason we're jumping over to this On3 Performance one. And the On3 Performance intercooler is definitely a nice piece, some quality looking welds. Also, for the money, it is just fantastic. I mean, this is a very affordable intercooler option, and I guess it comes in, it's like a third of the price of the Mishimoto, so we can get rid of the Mishimoto and have this little one. The other thing with switching this smaller intercooler, with our front clip, we'll just have to cut our holes out in our grill, and then we will get the flow directly into the intercooler, because we will be mounting that thing like right up in here. And that's kind of my game plan with that. I mean, the truck may eventually one day go to an air to water setup, but not right yet. We're gonna go with this On3 Performance air to air intercooler. So I'll kind of mock that up, see if I can get some boards and all, and see what it looks like, because we're gonna wanna center that thing up here up front and kind of within our grill area right there. Also, another thing to note, these rails are pretty hefty. So we have some weight savings with that. We can also get rid of our cab mounts up here. We have our air dog mounted to this one, but we can just kind of cut that down and all that whenever we feel it necessary or want to do it. It's not a crucial thing right now, so we're not going to bother with that. But yeah, let's get this intercooler mocked up. I'm curious to see what it's going to look like in there. So I kind of have our intercooler mocked up, our new On3 Performance intercooler, and it's kind of like decision time. So if I put it where it is currently, with it facing this way, with the inlet and the outlet, or inlet and the outlet up, then we'd have a little bit straighter shot here. We'd have to 90 out of there and then 90 into here. And it's pretty well even. I mean, it'd have to come down a little bit. And then our turbo, our big carrier over there, we can kind of do whatever we want on that side. The only caveat to that is with these down bars coming off the top hood area, then we have to have it like this close to our waterman. Not that that's an issue at all, but it just makes things a little tighter. But if we flip it like this, we can actually bring it closer to the grill, get a little more working room in here. Now, it's not like the intercooler is going to be too hard to get rid of. When we have our V-bands in there, what I'm thinking is we'll just use the 2 mounting points underneath. We probably won't even utilize these top 2. We'll just mount it from the bottom, plus our V-bands. That should hold it in there pretty well. But we can get away with scooching that thing forward a little closer to the grill, because remember, these grill areas here at least will be cut out. I don't know if we're gonna, you see guys, they cut out the whole thing and put like an aftermarket grill in. I don't know that we're gonna go that far. But the other part of that is, if when we cut the grill out, our intercooler is not quite as wide as the entire grill. So do we just cut, from here over, which would probably look pretty goofy? I don't know. Not that we can't do that and then see how it looks and go from there. But that's kind of like the height we're going to be at. And really, I'm kind of leaning towards this setup. We'll make a new pipe here to kind of just come straight to it, and have our V-bands so we can just kind of plop that pipe in there. And if we need to get on the front of the truck to work on it, 2 bolts, a couple V-bands, and then take it all out. But yeah, that's kind of the dilemma I have right now. But the other part of that is, until we get a V-band welded onto here, we don't know exactly where everything's going to be able to sit. Might be able to get a little more clearance up forward depending on where they're at and all that. Because my thinking is just, we're probably going to cut this right here, like right at the back of the edge for like a boot, and then weld our V-band on there. So I have no idea how far it's going to stick out and all that. So that's kind of the end of the intercooler for tonight, but I hope you guys are excited about it. It's a gnarly looking piece. I mean, it's 6 inches wide, it's thick, but all our airflow is going to be through the grill area. So I think it's a good change from our Mishimoto, which Mishimoto, it's a nice product. It's heavy and it's big, and I don't think we need all that, because we're not going to be opening up the bottom bumper area, as you guys can see. But our tilt does work, so the little sacrifices with these bars, not a big deal. I'm happy with the whole thing tilting up. Like I said, we are going to definitely have to put a cable or something in there. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff we can do in here, and obviously when we reroute our piping, we got to figure out all our fuel lines and our power steering stuff. I took our power steering reservoir off. We're probably going to end up relocating that up here. So we have some other work we got to do. But that's enough of that for tonight. We'll slap that thing back on there, get the intercooler out of there, and slap that hood back down, and then we have to go to our bedside. So from Quick Latch, the people who make the push button latches, from those guys I got these springs. So these are 2 20-pound springs and 2 10-pound springs. What these are is, you put these over top of the latch portion. You put them over top of this thing between the nut and the stud, and then the little retainer slides on there. So what that will do is make it so, what I'm hoping at least, that will get rid of our little up and down issue, and that'll apply pressure to here to kind of keep this thing stiffened up. I only got 4 springs because I didn't know what we'd need. If it works, we can get more and get that all figured out. Also, with our front clip, we can start shaping our fenders better to our door. And like, we gotta get rid of some bracketry here, and then make some other brackets to get that all to fit on the door properly. So I'm sorry for all the talking in this episode, guys, but that's kind of just the nature of the beast. But yeah, we'll get those brackets off there so I can start looking at that hood stuff, and we will get our little Quick Latch spring thing onto our bedside, because once we're happy with this, we can jump over to the passenger side. So we got our front end all taken care of, and by all taken care of, I mean we know that it flips. We've successfully made it flip forward, we do have to add like a cable system or something. It'd be awesome if I could find something retractable that I didn't have to remove, that I could just put up and was already there. If you guys know of anything like that, that'd be awesome. Just something we could maybe, make a mount on the underside here, like with a hook or with a loop, and then we have a retractable kind of thing on there. That would be awesome if you guys know anything like that, because then we just could put it up and not have to worry. But it's definitely way sturdier than it was, but still, if we had a wind gust, yeah, that's like a big giant kite out front there. But also we got our intercooler kind of figured out about kind of what we want to do. Like I said, not that there's much for you guys to see, but that bar right there, or those bars, kind of get in the way a little bit of how I wanted to do it, but they were necessities to get this thing. So when we hinged it up before, you could kind of hear the fiberglass like crackling, like it was just way too much stress. Now when you put it up, I'm still careful putting it up, but you don't hear any of that, so we are good there. Also on the passenger side, we got our byline kind of shaved out a little bit. It does need some work to be done completely, but what we need to do now is figure out a way to have this all come out. If you look at the driver's side here, if I put one of our push button latches in this area, we get that right, and then kind of get the rest of the fender to match the driver's side door here. So I got to figure out exactly what my solution is there, because when we pull this thing forward, the fenders do clear the door, which was kind of the goal with having it, so you can pull it forward. But whatever we put there, we want to make something that doesn't impede us pushing it forward or pushing it back. So we got to figure that all out. We got to figure out what we want to do as far as our grill. Our intercooler is probably going to be from like here to here. Do we just cut out 2 little or 4 little squares or rectangles, which admittedly would look probably pretty silly, but we can do that before we cut out the whole grill area, which again, we might need to add support even for these bars, or do we just get rid of it and try and fashion another grill on there? Let me know what you guys think. We'll definitely, experiment with cutting holes in the grill first. And then onto our bedside. So we added our 2 springs. We had the 10-pound springs and the 20. I put the 20 pounds up top here. And if you guys look, if we grab the bedside and pull up, it's sitting nice and pretty. Those things really do work. Keeping this thing kind of up. I mean, you got to push down to get it to move. I also put the 20s up top, and then on the back of the fender and the front here, I added the 10s. I think really if we do these, we should just do all 20s, because over here it still does kind of move. I don't know if you guys will see that, but it does still move in and out. Also, when we get to moving this thing, like the bedside still flexes, like we need another push button latch in this area. And then also above the fender, which I'm not actually that concerned about. I mean, I don't think that's going to be a big deal. The thing is pretty sturdy. It's just right here is the only thing that I see. But as it sits, I would say this is raceable how it is. And honestly, I'm pushing on it, but how much is that going to move when we run the truck down the track? I don't think the wind's going to get in here and try and beat this thing up going back and forth, but I really don't know. But that's something we can add in the future. So all in all, I am happy with the bed. What I will probably do is get some more of those spring kits, probably all 20 pounders, and just for everything on our bedsides. The front clip of the truck, we'll have to wait and see what we come up with for our fender area, but we kind of have these top ones, and of course our hinge joint, which is good. Once again, this is probably raceable as it sits. Obviously our fenders will need to be taken care of, so we will take care of that. We got to get a bunch of little stuff done. I got to order a radiator for this thing, so if you guys know a good one. I definitely saw some different stuff when I was out at PRI, but I couldn't track down the one that I wanted. So we need to get that bunch of little stuff. Obviously we need to get our intercooler. We need to get V-bands onto that, and then we can figure out exactly where we're gonna mount it, make a mount. Then we can get our piping going for that. And then really, guys, it's just all little stuff. We do have our passenger side, bedside that we still have to do, which we will probably start tomorrow night, because I'm actually pretty happy with how this turned out. The only thing is maybe I should have put this push button latch here, you know, right up here. So if we do add a middle one, we have, you know, just kind of the 3 in a line. But that's, you know, building something for the first time, and that's kind of stuff that happens. But that's not a big deal. We'll figure something out and make it look half decent and all that. So once again, guys, we just got a little bit of progress, kind of mock some stuff up tonight, but all progress is good progress, and we're getting there. This thing looks like a truck. I'm so happy that our tilt front end works the way I want it to. It's a little bit cumbersome to get back on and back off, just because we need to refine some things, whether we make kind of like little ramps or, you know, just getting that thing, getting the front end here so it'll go back up onto here. Maybe this wasn't the best location to have our latch, but just trying to get that thing in there. But it is all stuff we can figure out and sort out, so I'm not worried about it. We're gonna get that. I mean, even if you gotta fiddle with it a little bit, not a big problem. So anyway, guys, I hope you're excited. Moving right along on the truck, but making progress every day. So, oh, and our front clip hinges. That's awesome. I mean, I can't wait to get to the track and, you know, people will see the truck with the fiberglass and, oh, look at that. And then when you hinge the front end forward, it's going to draw a lot of attention. It's going to be awesome. I'm just so excited when we get this thing to the track, which even if the tracks probably aren't open, who knows anymore what's going on. Anyway, guys, I'm rambling on and on. It's a school night. I need to get to bed. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Catch you guys on the next one. Get out in your garage, get the wrenching on your truck.